Are we going to be ready in 7, 8, 9 years for an Olympic Games that really leverages, utilizes virtual reality technology?
So my first job out of college in 1984, I know it's going to date me, was printing photographs at the 1984 Olympics for Associated Press in the darkroom, right? And out would come these beautiful glossy images of these incredible bodies and performances and feats that would be published around the world, right? Accessible around the world. So what's kind of amazing about virtual reality now is how do we bridge that divide? How do we bridge that technological divide and provide that same extraordinary sense of presence that we only imagine when we looked at this flat image? And given what I've seen happen even in the last 5 years in virtual reality, I mean, I think the technology has moved even faster than I could ever have imagined from when I was 3D printing goggles out of my mother's garage, right? To now where they're becoming ubiquitous this fall. I mean, we've got Dell, Microsoft, Google's got new headset, Oculus has a new headset. I mean, there's gonna be a lot of devices. And I think by the time we get to the time frame of the Olympics, we're gonna see the phone merge with the goggle, and the phone itself will become, as we know, already is utilized by many, many, many people across all kinds of economic strata. And if we decide that as the Olympic Committee, we're gonna go forth and we're gonna provide this new technology to let people feel like they're standing next to an athlete, they're actually on the field, they're not necessarily, away from the performance, but they're actually in the middle of it, then if we can do that and we make it so it's accessible for everybody, I think that this Olympics could be groundbreaking technologically, but also show the world how we can bridge economic divides in the way that we provide tech.
Great point. And can you just pass the mic back to Renata? Because I'd like Renata's very brief input on that. Do technologies like virtual reality, Renata, enable people who normally wouldn't be able to access the live experience, a much more meaningful interaction with sports?
I don't know the answer to that question with the kids that we serve. I can tell you that there is a divide, not just with the Olympic Games, but certainly with professional sports in terms of the communities that we serve and their ability to access those games because of the price of the tickets. You also have the digital divide in terms of, in most communities, yes, everyone has a smartphone, but those smartphones may be turned off because they can't afford the service, so they're only going to use them when they use them, so live streaming is foreign to them. I think certainly we're trying to explore ways in which to give the broadest community within Los Angeles an experience of the Olympics. They certainly want to engage those, but I think this is a lot of work to do from an infrastructure perspective in terms of bridging that digital divide, both in terms of broadband, but also in terms of the devices themselves, to be able to have those afforded within those communities that are underserved or under-resourced.
Back up to Jay. I hope some of the tickets are going to be affordable.
Absolutely.
Do we have pricing yet?
We do not have pricing yet. But given the size of our market, the size of the facilities we have, we'll have an unprecedented number of tickets for sale. I think it's interesting you talk about your first job with the Olympics in '84. Again, we did all these athlete forums, and one of the biggest set of feedback we got from athletes is, yes, if you win a gold medal, you can see your performance quite often and lots of pictures and if you're just an average athlete whose pinnacle is just walking in the opening ceremonies and having your one heat of a race and then you're done, they never get a picture, their family never gets to see it. So think about the technology enabled to enable that in 2024, where every athlete will get a video of their performance, get pictures of their performance. By the way, we're giving every athlete two tickets to every time they compete in the Olympics.
Wow.
So the ability to bring your family, we can subsidize housing because we've got so much infrastructure at USC and UCLA. Really an unprecedented access, and part of our plan for the Olympics is to make sure that the entire city benefits from it being here, not just a small area.
The human stories is what really makes the technology incredible and worthwhile and impactful. And so I think using technology to build community, to bring compassion, to bring love and share those stories, that's largely what you said with the Olympics. It's the stories that's important. It's the human experience that's important.
It's amazing that today we can take a mobile phone, We can put it in front of your eyes and let you literally step into the skin of somebody else and their environment. We then look at the physics of it. We look at eye motion, face tracking, gaze abilities, hands-free interactions to be able to have volumetric experiences, 3D, X, Y, Z, and be able to experience the 360 realm with just micro head movements, with just very small controls, so that now we literally can step into the skin of somebody else, see the world through their eyes, and let a million other people do the same thing at the same time. That's just a world that we have never even envisioned, even in the entertainment industry. That has not yet been envisioned, and we're beginning to do that right now. You're beginning to see some of that come to play. The age of the human experience is about to dramatically change with the advent of the technology that we have today.